it's been sort of wonderful 11 years that sort of I've had with Cosmo, and there have been some ups and downs, but it's just been a great time. But at this time of the night, I would like to talk a little bit about, or at least sort of, I'll introduce Howie in a moment, but every year we sort of, the last 3, we have recognized someone as a recipient of our Spirit of Cosmo Award. And in the past we've had Mayor Wright, we've had Eric Antonini, we've had Grant Havoc. Well, sometime in the distant past, over 30 years ago, Mary Vinish, who's now Mary Baxter, spotted some article in the newspaper with regards to Jim Vipond and some golf tournaments that were raising money for those with disabilities. And she passed the idea on to either Howard or Al Anderson. I'm not quite sure exactly where it went from there, but I do know that she passed the idea on, and I would like you to introduce the man who, more than anybody else, ran with that idea and turned the Vipond, with the assistance of the premier golf course in Saskatoon, into an incredible happening for Cosmopolitan Industries and those with disabilities in Saskatoon. So Howard, if you would come forward and just let us know more about the Vipond. The spouses probably don't know as much as their the board members, but we would love to hear some of the stories that you regaled us with on Monday night. Thank you, Howard.
I was going to try to jump up there. That would have been a dumb mistake. Thank you, Peter. I'll start today as I did the other night by saying I apologize to the people I don't recognize, because I can see most things but not features. But the great part of that, I met 2 ladies tonight that I can honestly say you're as beautiful as you were 20 years ago, because that's how I remember you. It ain't all bad. I thought I just might try to repeat a little bit of what was said the other day. When I was 15 years old, I grew up in a small town east of here, and there was a Down syndrome boy lived just 2 miles down the road. Didn't know that at that time what Down syndrome was, but we just knew there was somebody in that house hidden away that was never allowed out. We saw him twice in 15 years, not even sure he had a name. But that's the way it was 50 years ago. Today, because of people like you and the people like the Vipond Golf Tournament and all the wonderful folks that have got involved, we have, 10 or 12 people, many of them Down syndrome, who are now traveling right across the world on holidays, to Disneyland, to Alaska, to maybe just to a hockey game. But they're all very much of society that they weren't 50 years ago. Just a little bit of history. 50 years ago, the only facility in our town was a 5-classroom school run by Mary Vinish. Dr. Buckle's wife was one of the great leaders, and John Dolan, of course. Just think what's happened in 50 years because of support from the people of Saskatoon, led often by people who are involved in the Vipond. The next item after John Dolan was Developmental Center for 3-year-olds is still running. Then we got double classrooms, both integrated and unintegrated. Then came Elmwood Residences with their 50-bed facility. It started out as 4-bed wards. We didn't know any better. Now it's pretty well all single rooms. Everybody has their own privacy. Elwood has 12 group homes. As I mentioned the Vipond the other night, that one of them, the group homes, is for a resource home where 165 families last year used it for their holidays so that they get a breakaway with have handicapped kids, pretty heavy burden all year long, and they provide that service to 165 people, and it allowed both mother and father to keep their jobs. What a change that is. Large Homes, which is a strong organization all over the world, has 136 beds in Canada. It's got a great reputation and does good work. They have 136 beds across Canada. Elwood has 132 in Saskatoon. Just think about it. Our little city has as many beds as an international outfit has across all of our country. Of course, the latest facility at Elwood is the fitness center, which is really a joint of Cosmo and Elwood. It's the only, as far as we can ascertain, it's the only fitness center designated for handicap, certainly in North America. We haven't been able to search any further, but it's a wonderful facility. Those that were at the opening will recognize how proud our people were. And I want to tell you the day that we were there and the Cosmo band played, that was one of the most prideful times in my life. I thought, holy cow, and these guys are really good, you know. Jim's our music man. I don't know if he was at that function, but it was
great.
It was just a tremendous show. And when to break the ribbon for the opening, the ribbon across the basketball hoop, the competition between the mayor and this handicapped boy, and Don missed the first 3 throws, and we don't know if it was on purpose or otherwise. But when the handicapped boy sunk that 3rd basket, all hell broke loose in there. When people were screaming and hollering, it was just a wonderful, wonderful day. Of course, the Viponds also had a hand in the dining room at Elwood, the new roof. So many different facilities. And of course at Cosmo, the Riverside Cafe, the front entrance, and I often think, I remember when Al was president, someplace he, whoever it was, searched out the name is left me, the center for where they put folks in for quietening them down, and Snoozland room, and that money was all provided by the Vipond. You know, without the Vipond, without Riverside Golf Course and their members being so generous, there would be a different quality of life in Saskatoon for our handicapped people. The key to Vipond has been they provided the seed money so that other sources could be sourced out, but you've got to start somewhere, and often Vipond led the way. And Riverside, we will always be indebted to Riverside, to the members, and we just hope that the same range it can carry on forever. You know, there's been, when I reckoning, over that 30 years, we think about $1.8 billion worth of money has been raised. You can do a lot of seed work with $1.8 billion. And you know, that's done $50 and $150 a time. And the key has been the golfers, the sponsors, and of course Al and this committee have just, Al's been chairing that now for 20 years. What a debt we owe Al. So it's our pleasure again tonight to recognize the people from Riverside, Scott, and the president. I don't know, with my bad eyes, I don't know who else is here, but I'd have to get close enough to kiss you so I could tell anyways. But welcome and thank you so much for what you've done, and may God keep you all. Thank you.
Yes, we'd like to thank Scott and his wife, Kathy, and Cam and his wife Tammy, if I got it right, all from Riverside. We made the presentation of this award to the members of Riverside for all they've done for us at the Vipond on Monday. But we just thought everybody would like to know sort of and experience the same thing again here.
hand's awfully warm now. Thanks
Great,
very much.
thank you.
Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I had a couple words to say on Monday night, and I brought them with me. So, what we wanted to say was on behalf of the members of Riverside Country Club, I want to thank you very much for this recognition. We greatly enjoy providing access to our facility for the annual Vipond in order to provide our support for this most worthwhile venture. We don't do it for recognition. We do it because we believe in it. The past week was the 30th time that the Vipond has been hosted at Riverside, and I understand we're now close to $2 million raised. I was fortunate to be invited to the President's Luncheon at Cosmo earlier this year and was amazed by the scope of activities that take place. I was never so proud to be a Riverside member. Again, thank you very much, and good night.